episode we're going to be looking at the foot switches and how they toggle on and off using the Arduino board. So let's go inside. I've got a little test setup inside so we can see how it gets programmed and the wiring that's involved. Okay, we're inside and let's have a look at some of the hardware that we're going to use in controlling the toggling of these foot switches in the wet blast cabinet. The brains of the outfit is one of these small Arduino UNO boards, retail in JCar for about $30. So we'll be downloading some software for this and getting a program into this board. The other board we're going to use is a Arduino Tech Arduino compatible 4-channel relay board. This particular board retails for $13 and is controlled by 12 volts. Just check this because the little coils that work, these relays are operated by 12 volts. If you get an Arduino board, they're operated by 5 volts. But we'll be talking about that in the wiring diagram. And yeah, so the next thing we're probably going to do is get some software to talk to this and get the program into it, and then we'll go into the hard wiring of the two boards. Okay, the next thing we've got to do to our little Arduino UNO board is to get some software to talk to it and get some program into it. This port here is a programming port, and we use a USB cable to connect the board to the computer. The other end just a normal sort of USB end that goes into the computer, and we get power to the board. This port here will be the 12 volt DC port when we put it into the electrical cabinet. The program will be in there and we'll power the board with 12 volt DC into this port. So the next thing to do is to get on the computer, download some software to talk to the board, and then download a program and load that into the board. Okay, we've gone onto the computer and I've typed in Arduino UNO IDE search in Google, and it's come up with the Arduino IDE link here. So I'll click on that, and here we are at the Arduino site. Download the Arduino IDE. So we'll do that. I'm going to use it for Windows app, requires Windows 8 or 10, which is my computer, so I'm going to get that. Click on that. Got the other systems there. Well, I'm already donated, so I'm not going to donate again. So just download. I'll download the software here, Arduino IDE, get it. Now I've already got this on my computer, so there's really no need for me to go any further here than this. But you guys just go to here, get this software onto your computer, and then we'll go to the next stage, which is to talk to the board. We're now on the computer, and I have the shortcut to the Arduino IDE here. So I click on that, and the Arduino software comes up. Now I'm just going to go to a new file for you. Yeah, we'll open up a new one here like this. Now that's what'll open up for you when you get the software on there. You'll have a totally new file. Some of the first things you got to do to get communication going is to tell the board manager what sort of board you've got. These are all the different Arduino boards. We've got an Arduino UNO, so we highlight that. Okay, so make sure you do that. The next thing you got to do is make sure you've got it in your serial ports. So we can see that COM4 on my computer is talking to the Arduino UNO. On your computer it may be 3, maybe 1, well probably not 1, but it could be another number. But anyway, just make sure that the software is talking to the Arduino. So okay, so that's that. That's it. Pretty well done. The next thing we've got to do is get a program and put this into the IDE. This is the site where I actually got the software for the 4-channel relay. It's a site run by ROBOJAX. He gives a very good description of the program that he's wrote and the wiring of the relays. Now just be aware, if you look at this, that these relays are actually powered by 5-volt DC, so they can come straight off the Arduino board. The board that I'm using is a 12 volt, so it's got to have a separate 12 volt DC power supply, but we can talk about that a bit more later. But anyway, that's the site where I got the program from. So you can, in his description, you can see download Arduino code here, and if we go there, he gives another explanation here on how it's wired, and his code is there. Now, I don't know about copying this code, but I'll put the code in the description so you can just copy it from there. So let's have a look what's involved in copy and pasting this program into the Arduino. Okay, we've been to the ROBOJAX site that has the video on the 4-channel relay, and we've downloaded his program, copied his program. Now I've just copied and pasted this into a Word document. I think I'll leave this in the description, but now all we've got to do is just copy this, copy all this text. This is the program. So click on that and copy. Then we'll go to our Arduino IDE, open it. It should open like this, or you can create a new file here if you like. So we just highlight all of this text and we paste over the top of it. Okay, there's our 4-channel relay program in there, the whole lot. Now, the only thing you really have to worry about, I reckon, or to check if you download it, if you don't use this copy of mine or you download it off the net, this delay may be 1000, which he's put in to slow the serial printing down when he uses the monitor. Have that at 100, otherwise your switches will act slow. So okay, there's our program in there. So we can verify the program now that it's in there. Let's verify it. We better save it to an address. We'll call it just shoot video. Okay, that'll do. And save that. And it's going through and then compiling the program now. Compiling done. We've got no errors. That's all good. Then we can load this into the board. It's uploading. And uploading done. So that's it. The program is now into the Arduino. Okay, we now have a program in our Arduino board, and these are the components we're going to be using. We're going to be using a power supply. It's written on the electrical drawing as a battery, but we're going to be using a transformer. We're going to be using some terminal strips. We want terminal strips for neutral and positive, and neutral for the board as well. And we've got our relay board. Now, what I'd like you to do first with this relay board, when these relay boards come, they've got a little jumper. You can see this this jumper here, this green jumper. You want to take that out because we're going to need the ground on here. Common. We're going to use common on there. And on the actual 12 volt side, that's going to provide power to your windscreen wipers and your valve and a signal for your motor. We want to loop the center pins of each pin. Each relay has 3 pins. The center pin is the actual power. The pin to the right here is for the normally open contact, and the pin to the left is for the normally closed contact. We're going to be using normally open all the time, so all we've got to do first up is this will be going to your terminal strip for power, 12 volt power coming in. So we're going to loop that to the center each of these relays to provide power. Okay, so I've got my transformer. I'll plug that in, and we'll connect this to the terminal board. So we'll have the negative at one end, and we'll have the positive at the other end. Okay, so there's our, like it's shown, battery on the drawing. You can see the battery there, but we're going to use a transformer. So the next thing we've got to do is provide power for the Arduino board. So we want to get some power into that board. So we have one of these sort of connectors that goes into the Arduino. So we connect that in the Arduino, and we go positive and negative. We'll put our negative in there and our positive in there. Okay, turn the power on, and there's the power. Okay, so we've got power supply coming in from our transformer, and we're taking a power supply to our Arduino board. Now the next thing we're going to need is some power for the relay board. So again, we go to our negative. Look at the electrical drawing. We're now putting power into the relay board along this connection here. So the negative goes to a ground on the terminal board. There. You can see that there. That's terminal. But look on your board and you'll see the ground and the VCC. So the next one we connect the red wire to the voltage, the VCC. Okay, and we connect that to our transformer supply. There. Now we've got power to the relay board. Now the next thing we're going to need is to connect the Arduino ground here. You can see the ground pin here on the Arduino. Here on the electrical drawing it's going to be there. There's two pins for ground on the board. So we're going to go that, and we're going to put that on a separate terminal strip. So here, we'll put that in the middle. Okay. So there's our Arduino ground. Now we want to connect the Arduino ground to the common pin on the board. The one that we took the jumper out, it has ground and common there. Put the Arduino neutral or ground to the common. Okay, so that's on like that. So we've now got the Arduino ground going to the common on the relay board. So where are we? Okay, we're going to need an input from our foot switch. I'm not going to do all three, I'm only going to do one because it's going to get just too complicated and messy here, but just duplicate this for the other three switches. So okay, we've got a switch. Let's connect the switch up. So we'll put the switch here, the inputs, foot switches inputs are for 2, 3, 4 and 5, okay? So let's put the first one into 2, and the second one will go to the neutral on the board. Arduino neutral. Okay, that's in there. Okay, now next we've got to connect the output for that. 2 goes to a 11, 3 goes to 10, 4 goes to 9, and 5 goes to 8. See that on the electrical drawing. Okay, so let's connect the 11 pin. And that's an output, and that's going to go to input 1 on the relay board, like so. Okay, so now we can test our pin, our input, our foot switch. So I'll press that, and we now get an input into the relay board, and you can hear the relay switching over, which is providing 12 volt DC through the normally open contact. So now we've got the relay switching over. We want to supply power to all our relays, 12 volt power. So we'll go into here for our 12 volt power. And next we need a motor. So let's just say this is our wiper motor. So we'll for our wiper motor, we'll connect the neutral to the neutral, the relay board neutral, and we'll connect the power supply into the right hand contact, the normally open contact of the relay, and we'll try that. Yeah, the windscreen wiper's motor's going, windscreen wiper motor's off, and you can see the input comes on, motor starts, motor stops. So okay, one last thing I do want to talk to you about is within the wet blast cabinet we are using a 150 volt AC, 240 volt AC slurry pump. Now I encourage you to follow the legislation within your countries as regards to working on 150 volt AC, 240 volt AC, because it is dangerous and it can kill you. So please be very, very careful. Now, what we can do from here is provide a signal, a 12 volt DC signal to a 12 volt DC relay contactor, where those bigger voltages will go through that contactor. So the first thing I'm going to do is wire in another switch, which will come off terminal 3, input 3 on the Arduino board, and that will go to the Arduino neutral. So there's our switch. Then we need an output. So the output for input 3 is going to be 10. So I'll put a wire into pin 10 and take that to input 2 on the relay board. It's going to power relay number 2 here. And we need a neutral and a positive coming from the supply. So I'm just going to do it on this little LED here. So I'm going to put the neutral for the light there, there, and the power there, the 12 volt there, like so. Okay, so let's have a look at that. Hit the switch, power comes on, and we give a signal to the relay, contactor relay for the pump. That's all it is. It's just a 12 volt signal. It's going to power the coil of that contactor. So we can work on 12 volt DC. Alright, and we've got our motor here. So we can press our motor, and our motor starts. So I'm using, you know, you can put these relays wherever you want. I'm going to have mine as the pump, the air, the windscreen wiper, and I've got a vent on mine, so I'm going to power the vent from here as well. So that's it, guys. Yeah, bottom line, please follow your local legislation when working with electricity, and be safe.